Hello, everyone out there in VC land, YouTube land. Hope you're doing very well. We have Elvis, and Elvis want to say a few words, Elvis? Did you want to say something? Elvis.
Hi, this is Elvis Presley.
Okay, Elvis, keep it low because we are taping. This is about Elvis, so we're letting him talk tonight. I'm Tony again. Tony's LP's Rush. We're in Studio E, and this whole segment is going to be about Elvis because on July 21st, which was only a few days ago, Baz Luhrmann, who directed the great autobiography film with Austin Butler that came out a few years ago. Tom Hanks played the Colonel. Great movie, probably made $1 billion or up to $1 billion worldwide. Just a great film. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Elvis, the autobiography movie with Austin Butler receiving an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, which he should have won, by the way, but he didn't. So anyway, Baz just announced the other day that in researching Elvis and looking through Elvis's footage to do the film, he came across some buried treasure that's in these mines, where salt mines that keep film negatives and film footage from deteriorating. And he's unearthed 68 boxes of Elvis stuff, including negatives, video footage, film footage, and he's put this together, and he's going to release this in September at the TIFF Film Festival in Toronto, Canada, I believe. And I'm going to talk about that later. I have kind of have a problem with that. And also, he's indicated that the movie is gleaming from outtakes and footage from This Is Elvis, this great film. If you haven't seen it, check this out. This is the, of course, this is the double soundtrack. This was one of the first documentaries that came out after Elvis Presley passed away. And then we have Elvis, That's the Way It Is, which is fantastic. This is the Blu-ray movie. I'm not sure if I have an album of this, but This Is Elvis. I kind of like the footage and the material better. This is more of a concert film. This has different scenes. It's more more of a total documentary. This is Elvis versus That's the Way It Is. And I'm going to talk about some other Elvises. I believe he also gleamed from Elvis on Tour, which is a great movie. And if you don't have this Blu-ray, pick up this Blu-ray because the sound quality on this is just fantastic in 5.1. You would think that Elvis and his touring band with Ronnie Tuff and James Burton and Sheaf playing bass and the background singers and the Jordanaires were just incredible. Here's that. Now, I went to see this in a one-day engagement at a theater with a bunch of Elvis fans, and it was fantastic. But I get more enjoyment through my audio video system with surround sound. So this is really good one. So supposedly Baz has gleaned footage from these films and maybe more to do this documentary. But what's interesting, and maybe it's just me, maybe I'm missing something.
This is Elvis Presley.
Elvis, would you please keep it down a little bit? We're trying to tape here. Wow. Once you get him started, he is unbelievable. Here's the DVD of This Is Elvis instead of the Blu-ray. Great stuff, and I'll go over the songs in a minute. Here you have has the 1983 expanded video version with 40 minutes of extra footage, and the 1981 version that was released in the theaters that's a little bit shorter. So this is cool. So we'll talk about that. But Baz announced that he's found all this footage. He's going to put this out in September. We're not sure when we're going to get to see it in America or in the UK, for all my UK people in Australia, Japan, all the peoples of the world who love Elvis. So we're not sure, but it is going to be debuted in Canada in September. Not sure of the date, the 50th anniversary of I believe it's the TIFF Film Fest. And we'll go into that because I have a kind of problem with that. I'm just going to read the press release here in case you haven't seen it. It popped up on my feeds because I'm a big Elvis fan, not as big as maybe some of you guys out there, some of you gals out there, because I know there's some great Elvis channels that I tend to watch. I haven't watched anything on this particular matter, but I'm sure they're going to be happening. But anyway, a few days ago I got this posted, and this is posted on Instagram. The filmmaker wrote a new film from Baz Luhrmann, who was following up his hit Elvis with the doc Epic. Yeah, I forgot to mention, this new film is called Epic, which is Elvis Presley in concert. I think that's a great title, and I'll show you the poster if I can find it. The poster's really cool. Epic, Elvis Presley in concert. Couldn't think of a better title. I have no problem with the title. Elvis Presley in concert, a mixture of concert performances, behind-the-scenes footage, and Elvis's reflections. Now, apparently, this is going to be narrated by audio Elvis, similar to how Yoko and Sean Lennon did Imagine, with John Lennon actually talking about himself through footage. Because, you know, probably, I would think John Lennon did more interviews than Elvis, but Elvis did a lot of interviews, and Elvis was always talking. You could always find footage of Elvis that you've never heard before. He even has an album. Elvis, I know this is Elvis. Please keep it down. You're just don't sing, because we don't have copyrights.
Thanks for letting me talk to you.
That's okay, Elvis. Thank you. So anyway, Elvis Presley in concert, world premiere at TIFF in September. 7 weeks and counting from this release. We're very proud to announce Baz Mark's latest production with authentic studio and Sony Music Vision. Baz Epic's Elvis Presley in concert. Elvis sings and tells his story like never before. Has been officially selected for Toronto International Film Fest's 50th edition. It's cause for celebration, a little less conversation, and a little more action. Party that night. This is what it says. By the sounds of it, Elvis is epic in concert. Could be in the cinemas in U.S. and U.K., if not by early 2026. So I don't know why we have to wait for this. And I'm having a problem on why it's not premiering in the States. Now, Elvis was in Canada in 1957. I think he wore that same outfit. Hi, Elvis. I think he wore that same gold outfit. He did 3 concerts, probably very short, half hour, 40 minutes. So why we're showing this, why Baz is showing this in Toronto and not the States or in Hawaii? You know, show it in Hawaii. Let whatever cable streaming network you want, Amazon, Netflix, whoever, Hulu, let them stream it for that day. Even if you have to pay a special price for it, you know, you rent it that day across the world. It would be bigger than Elvis in Hawaii when that came out. That was the biggest, the most seen concert in the world. It was beamed via satellite to multiple countries, and I'll show you that album in a second. As a matter of fact, here it is. Aloha from Hawaii, and here you have the inner, and that's where it beamed to all these different countries. The back has Elvis Presley and Aloha from Hawaii via satellite in different languages. Includes 8 songs never before recorded by Elvis. So why didn't they do something like that? Why is it being released in Canada? Elvis played there in 57, did 3 shows, I believe, and that was it. You know, Colonel had immigration problems, so he didn't let Elvis go stray too far. And I don't even know if he went to Canada at that time. I remember going through Canada. You didn't even need a passport. You didn't even, I think you may have, I don't even think you needed a birth certificate when I used to go to Montreal to see Formula One, or I went to Toronto to see relatives. I don't even think we needed probably just a driver's license. Now you need a passport, you need a smart ID, you need all that other good stuff. So anyway, I'm just going to talk about what I think about this film. I'm very skeptical. Are we going to get unedited footage that we've never seen, unreleased footage that we've never seen before? Because what's interesting is that the trailer I've seen, now there may be multiple trailers, but the 2 trailers that I've seen, the footage looks very familiar. It doesn't look like it's stuff I've ever seen, although hard to determine because Elvis is basically always doing the same thing on stage, same outfits. But if that's the case, then what are we really getting? I know people out there, Elvis fans, are clamoring for anything new with Elvis, and I agree. I just don't like the idea that it's being premiered in.
Hi, this is Elvis Presley.
Hi, Elvis, in Canada. I think it should be, in L.A., Radio City Music Hall, or even in Elvis's hometown, if that's even possible anymore. Close down Elvis Presley Boulevard, make it a big effing drive-in, let people drove up in their Cadillacs, let's make it special. But Canada, let me know what you think about that in the comments. And as I'm saying this, I want to thank everyone for stopping in and listening to me rant about this Elvis thing. It's not only a rant. I'm very happy that we're going to get some new Elvis. I'm just not into some of the material on, I believe on this one, what is it called? This record. That's the way it is. I'm not really digging the material on here. You can check this out on YouTube. Here's my Elvis from Hawaii DVD. I also have it on Blu-ray. This record and this Blu-ray just sounds fantastic. This is my favorite Elvis documentary so far. This is Elvis, just amazing. This is a two edition set with different versions. Of course, you have this. I'm just showing these because I'm just still thinking, why is this movie going to premiere in Canada and not in the States, or Hawaii, which is the States? But why not Hawaii? Beam it all over the world. Go through Netflix. Netflix will probably pay Biz more money than anybody else would, or even Amazon. If you haven't seen this video, Elvis Viva Las Vegas documentary that came out a few years ago, very good. People in Vegas, all the acts, they just talk about Elvis. They give him high praise. Elvis was the first one to wear the bling. He was the first one to have the entourage in a way, would roll in with the Memphis Mafia. So this is it. This one here is excellent. Elvis Lives. I got to see this live in Radio City. It was one day only, and I was lucky to get tickets for this. Elvis Lives. This is when we had 35 millimeter footage of Elvis 60 feet tall on a big screen with Elvis's original touring band, backup singers, conductor, the whole bit, and they synced it with Ronnie Tutt. They synced it with Elvis's singing from restored audio footage, and the band played along. So the band played to Elvis's singing, so it was just fantastic. I'm just going to pull this up, and I'm going to try to pull the poster so I could show you guys what that poster looks like from Epic, Elvis Presley in concert. I love the title. I just think the title is just unbelievable.
Thanks for letting me talk to you.
Okay, here's the movie poster. If you haven't seen it online, you could pull it up online. Sorry about the glare I'm getting, but maybe that's a little better. So here you have Elvis Presley in concert. Elvis Presley in concert. Elvis sings and tells his story like never before. It's going to be at TIFF, the film festival in Toronto, 50th. And I love this little side profile or side half of Elvis there. Just let's face it, ladies and gals, guys, the best looking guy probably that ever walked the earth. So we're going to get footage from some documentaries that we've seen before. Supposedly we're going to get a lot of stuff. And I have another question. I have two questions. Again, I'm going to reiterate. Why the hell is it being shown in Canada first? Now, I know the thing is to show premiere our films overseas to get a buzz. This isn't overseas, but in another country over the border, to get that buzz and build it up. But Elvis doesn't need a buzz. Let's get that straight. Elvis is like James Bond. Elvis is like the Beatles. Elvis is like Michael Jackson. You don't need a buzz. You promote it. You start Elvis out in America. Elvis should be in America. Hawaii, America, Memphis, New York, LA, Radio City. And then if there's 48 boxes of footage, 48 boxes of negatives that are in, I guess, in great shape because they were in the salt mines, which is where negatives do not deteriorate, which film does not deteriorate, etc. Why are we only getting a 2-hour movie? Are we going to get a special three sets DVD? Hopefully, we're not getting any information right now. It's a while off, but it's not that while off. What they say, 6-7 weeks off. So that's going to come around really fast. I don't want to push the summer out, but that's going to come around really fast. So those are my questions. What do you think about Elvis's Epic being premiered outside the country in Canada? I don't know. I don't think Elvis would be happy about that. I don't know how much juice this guy Baz has right now. You know, the Elvis estate's been tossed around with his grandkids now. Priscilla doesn't have anything to do with it or so I'm not really sure. But we're going to get some more live Elvis, which you can't go wrong. I'm just concerned that we don't get enough. I want it all. I just don't want a 2-hour movie. I want it all. Okay? Here's some Elvis in person. Elvis back in Memphis. Elvis in concert, what we're talking about. So, and if you have new trailers, let me know. Put a link into the comments. I like to see these trailers because the trailers that I've seen, like I said, it looks like I've seen these trailers before. Nothing new, nothing stunning. I want to say, wow, I've never seen that before. You know, I've seen all the rehearsal footage of Elvis, and that's what they're showing. They're showing rehearsal footage. They're showing things with Elvis. Hi, Elvis. We're talking about you, my man. Keep rocking. You okay? New movie coming out. You all right?
Thanks for letting me talk to you.
Okay. Thank you. And then we have this. And then this I just picked up because I was pulling some records. Elvis in Hollywood. This is Booksville Records. This has a nice booklet in it. So plenty of Elvis live. And like I said, this is Elvis. That's the way it is. Elvis on tour. Great Blu-rays, great DVDs. So pick those up while you can. And we will be seeing you soon. Let me know what you think. And please always consider liking and subscribing to Tony's LPs Are Us. And of course, this is about the King. I just want to get as much as I can. I'm happy that Baz is doing this. I'm happy that Sony's doing this. Whoever owns the Elvis stuff now. But again, why in Canada? Why not here? And are we going to get more? And when are we going to get an American release or a UK release or a Japanese release or an Australian release? All the countries, Asia, all the countries that love Elvis. When are we going to get those countries to see this movie, Epic, Elvis Presley in concert? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.